So I'm starting off again. We'll see if it does it this time. Yep, it just did it again. It just jumps. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're gonna be going over the 5 things that I hate about my Ford Raptor. So yes, I still love this truck, but obviously it does have its faults, so I wanna highlight those in today's video. And yeah, I mean, it's that simple. I'm gonna go over the 5 things that I hate about the truck, and hopefully that'll help all of you out if you are planning on purchasing a Ford Raptor. And obviously, in normal Ben Hardy fashion, I've got my flip-flops on, my shorts on, and my t-shirt, and it's 30 degrees outside, but I don't care. So the number 1 thing that I hate about the Raptor is actually something that I said that I loved about the Raptor, and that is the lights on the truck. Let's get into what I mean exactly. So I actually said in the last video that I love the accent lights. However, there's something about the headlights that I don't like that much. There's something in this area that I don't like, and it's also about the marker lights. So let's start with the marker lights. So these ones that are in the grill, and let me just turn on the lights so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You can see the marker lights on the grill. I feel like these are very well integrated. They look good, and everyone in Utah copies that. They put it on their Tacomas and their, you know, regular F-150s, and it's whatever. These lights look great at night on the side. However, you guys can kind of see it just looks like it's like tacked on, and it looks a little bit cheap, and I definitely don't like that. And also on the rear, if we walk on over here, it's the same thing in the rear. You've got these beautiful taillights, which I like the design on them, and then just below them you have the marker light, and again, it just looks like it was kind of thrown on. It doesn't look like they put a whole lot of thought into it. I wish they'd have just put a little bit more care into, you know, just integrating the lights. And yeah. Now the rest of the stuff with the lights is actually with the 2 headlights. So now I have all the lights on, obviously, and you can see it looks really, really good. However, I don't like these headlights as much as the lights on my Rebel. Any of you that have a 2019 or 2020 Ram 1500 can attest to this, that the lights on that are super bright at night, whereas these lights that the Raptor has, even the brights that are obviously just down below, they just really aren't all that bright at night. And if I kind of go right at this angle, you guys can see just how bright they are, and it's really not overwhelming in any sense. So I did prefer the lights on my Rebel. They were way brighter. The ones on the Ford, they're okay, but they're just not as nice. Now the last thing on the lighting is the fact that it does not have fog lights. I mean, it's pretty apparent. So you've got the low beams here, you've got the high beams there, you've got the marker lights, accent lights, and then you've got these holes in the bumper where, yes, you can put aftermarket fog lights, but it doesn't come with it from the factory. Yeah, I think that looks cool because you can see the suspension through it and all that, but at the same time, it would be nice if they integrated fog lights somewhere into the Raptor. The fact that it doesn't have it from the factory, and also the fact that the lights aren't all that bright at night, kind of kills it on that sense. Now the number 2 thing that I hate about the 2020 Ford Raptor, I should say my Raptor, is the interior materials. So let's kind of, and elements I should say also. Let's pop inside. You guys can kind of get a look at the interior on the Raptor, and the reason I said elements is I also want to add the touchscreen to this category, so that's why it's not just materials, but it's also elements on the interior. But you guys can kind of get a glimpse of everything on the interior, and then we'll kind of focus on certain elements. So I said in my last video I like stuff like the carbon fiber touches, but look at everything else around it. So like this right here is just this like cheap kind of rubberized plastic stuff, and down here is okay padding, but it's not like really smooth. If you guys have ever been in the Ram 1500 Limiteds, it's like nice smooth leather, whereas this is the fake stuff. The blue stitching's cool, but the fact that they put nice materials like the carbon fiber and then the blue stitching right next to these really cheap materials all around, is pretty annoying. And the same thing with the vents. So you see these vents, they kind of have that cool like look to them, but then everything else around them is just, you know, hard plastic all around. And then on the dash, you know, I mean, this is okay to do this kind of stuff. My Rebel had the same thing, but you can see how it just ends right there abruptly on the dash on both sides. And then again, you've just got hard plastic. The vents are cool. But yeah, you can see that they use some okay materials, but then they surround it by crappy materials. I mean, look at the glove box. You got carbon fiber on the top, and then you have this really crappy plasticky feeling glove box, and yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and it continues all the way to the side. And I mean, look at the seats, for example. I said that I loved the seats in the Raptor, and like this suede is really nice, but then the leather they actually use is actually pretty hard. They're comfortable to sit in, but it just, the leather doesn't feel very nice, and it's obviously because it's not real leather. But again, they use, you know, somewhat nice materials, and then they put kind of crappy materials right next to them. Same thing with the glove box. You got the nice stitching, you have the nice suede, and then this stuff, which it's okay to rest your arm on, but it's not the best. And then you've got like the carbon fiber shifter here, and then all surrounding it, This material right here, this looks pretty cool. You can see it's got cool design to it, but like this whole area right here, crappy plastic, you got crappy plastic right there, and then you got like this cool little cover, carbon fiber, but then up above it, you got kind of just, you know, crappy controls. This whole area just needs to go, by the way. Yeah, I don't like that. And so that's kind of like my overall feel. And then actually in the rear, I mean, you can see it's even worse. The door panels, there's no padding. It's just all that really cheap rubberized plastic. And there's even a carbon fiber thing right there. And so the back is even worse. The mood lighting's pretty cool. You can see that the interior lighting's pretty cool. But yeah, they use nice materials, as you can see, next to crappy materials. So yeah, disappointing in the Raptor. Now I said I wanted to go over the screen as like an interior element as part of this category, and the thing I wanted to go over was first the camera system. It's cool that it has a 360 camera system like the bird's eye view, but you can see the resolution on it really isn't good. I mean, just looking at the view on this, it's okay, but I mean, it's not that great. And even, you know, with the backup camera, you can see there, the backup camera resolution, again, it really isn't all that nice. And the 360 view, for some reason, you can see it's colored properly right there, and then right there on those sides, it's not even colored properly. So kind of annoying on that. And then the other thing is just the touchscreen response itself. You can see it's okay with the response time, but look, I press navigation. It takes a second to load up, which is reasonable. But I mean, sometimes when you press things, they don't happen all that quickly. I mean, look at that. And then it goes. You know, it takes a minute for some things. You know, the other thing that I use all the time is maybe the Ford Pass or like just general. And so the response time on the touchscreen is okay, but at the same time, it's not the best. So again, that's kind of another pitfall on the Raptor. For number 3 and actually 4, we're gonna have to take the Raptor on a drive. So I'm gonna go over number 3 and then get into number 4, and then we're gonna take it out for a drive so I can explain both the things. So the third thing that I hate about the Ford Raptor has to do with the transmission shifts and then also the transmission clunking. Obviously, I'm gonna drive the Raptor to try to like actually show this happening in real time. I'm not sure if it'll do it or not, but anyone that has an F-150 or even a Chevy 1500 that has a 10-speed automatic can attest to this. When you get up to third gear, it doesn't want to go into third gear. Sometimes it kind of clunks, and then when you go down to third gear, again, it kind of clunks with that gear. And it's that same feeling like if you've ever been in a truck that has a decent amount of horsepower and you floor it, right, the back wheels will spin and you kind of get this like weird clunking in the back. However, even when you're not flooring it in the Raptor and you just very lightly, like completely dry pavement, very lightly going from second to third, it does that same jumping in the back like it doesn't want to go into gear, and it's super, super annoying. Now, the other thing is actually with the transmission shift time, and again, when we get into the drive portion, I can show this a little bit more, but obviously the Raptor comes with these nice magnesium paddles to shift the gears yourself. And I understand that it's still a torque converter automatic, but sometimes like the lag time when I actually press a paddle, when you upshift, it's okay, but when you downshift, you know, when you actually do the downshift paddle, it takes quite a bit of time before it actually shifts into the next gear. And so it kind of takes me out of the moment of, you know, driving this truck how I like to drive it. So again, when we get the drive portion, I can kind of show the shift time to you. And let's get into number 4 quickly, and then we'll take it out. The number 4 thing that I hate about the Raptor, yes, it's the exhaust. I know that I said that I liked it, but at the same time, it's never going to sound as good as a V8. And then the other thing is the fact that there is fake noise piped into the interior on the Raptor. So I'll give you guys an exhaust clip, and then when we take it out to drive it in just a second, you guys will hear the fake noise that gets piped in. I know a lot of you commented on that, and I know that it does that, but yeah, let's do the exhaust clip, and then we'll roll with actually driving it. So at this point, like every other YouTuber says, headphone users beware, but you guys really don't have to because it's not loud. So just set you right there, and give me a second. So, I mean, obviously, as you can see, it's not the most inspiring sound. I mean, I think it sounds okay, especially with the turbo noises and everything. And once I get an exhaust and then get some blow-off noise, it'll sound better. But yeah, it's not a V8. Okay, so we've got the GoPro on here. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to make it do that transmission clunking, but at least you guys will be able to hear the fake intake noises that they do through the speakers in the Raptor, and I'll kind of talk about that, but we'll at least try to do the clunking on it. So yeah, let's head out. Okay, so we're starting off here, and I'm going to see if I can get it to do it. Yeah, of course, when I obviously put it on the camera, it doesn't want to do it. I'll see if I can put it in manual mode and downshift a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now it's kind of doing it. Yep, it just did it. So it just did the jump thing. I don't think that was captured on camera. You have to like physically be in the truck to be able to feel it. But every single time when you go down to third gear or out of third gear or into third gear, it's just always around third gear. It does this weird like clunking stuff. And like I said, if you own an F-150 or even a Chevy with the 10-speed automatic, tell me if you do not get the same thing. I mean, I'll try to get it to do it again here. So I'm in third now. Oh, that time it was actually smooth for the first time ever. Oh goodness. But yeah, I mean, I still love the truck, but it's kind of a silly thing that it does there. I'm starting off again. We'll see if it does it this time. Yep, it just did it again. It just jumps. Like the tires aren't spinning. You just get a clunk in the rear end. I wish there was some way that I could capture this on camera, but just you guys have to trust me. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the intake noise. So we're going to get acceleration here. Now that sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Well, like half of that is real and half of that's coming from speakers. There's speakers in the truck that pipe in fake noise, and I mean, it's a little bit annoying because it's not legit, but at the same time, I mean, it sounds good, and if it makes the driving experience better, I think it's okay. But I mean, I wish it was all real noises, just because I mean, what happens if one of the speakers breaks? Then the truck doesn't sound as good. And also, if you want to get the maximum acceleration, sport mode in 4-wheel drive auto is, or you could do 4-wheel high too, but 4-wheel drive auto is kind of fun. It makes things a little bit dramatic. Now the fifth and final thing is going to be the cost of the Raptor, the cost of ownership, and then also the cost of fuel. And I know that some of you are going to be getting on me about the cost of fuel. Yes, I know the whole thing. If you can afford the vehicle, you can afford the gas. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you can save somewhere, you want to. And I will show you guys the fuel economy on this. Obviously, it has to have premium because it's turbocharged. But yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks on the fuel economy side of things. And then the overall cost on the Raptor, I mean, I love the truck, but it's a little bit excessive. So let's hop in so I can show you the fuel economy, then the window sticker and all that. Okay, we got the moment of truth. 12.8 miles per gallon average. Now, I've only got about, what does it say, 745 miles on the truck so far, so I don't have a ton of miles. So once I get more miles and I have a more accurate reading, I don't imagine it's gonna be that much more, because one of my friends has a Raptor. He's always in that like 11 to 13 miles per gallon range, somewhere in there. So I know mine's not gonna be all that much different. So yeah, the fuel economy kind of sucks. Yes, I can afford the gas for the Raptor, but at the same time, if I didn't have to pay for it, I wouldn't, if that makes sense, right? I always want to save where I can. And now let's get into the overall cost, which is kind of the disgusting part. Quick notice, I'm going to make a completely separate video about how much I actually paid for the Raptor, but this is just the, sticker price on the truck. And I mean, you guys can see all of the options that I had on this truck, right, from brand new. Right there, and then yeah, this is all like the added options is in this area. So you can see the total MSRP. Oops, it fell, sorry. Right there. So we've got the total MSRP at $74,990, or about $75,000. And I mean, here's the thing is, this truck is awesome, right? It's a great off-road truck. It's a sports truck. It's all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like multiple vehicles combined in one, and it's a really, really cool vehicle. I absolutely love it. But is it $75,000 cool? I mean, not quite, but again, the market shows that, especially where I live, I mean, most of the Raptors where I live are selling for over stickers. So yeah, I mean, it's a cool truck, but I feel like, yeah, it's really expensive. I mean, it doesn't even come with parking sensors in the front or massaging seats, which I don't care about massaging seats because I'm 22 years old. But at the same time, if someone were to spend full sticker or above sticker, which happens all the time on Raptors, you'd hope that you get a few more features and just a nicer interior, just everything, for the amount of money that this truck costs. I hope that makes sense. For the amount of money that this truck costs, I would feel like there would be a little bit more that would come with it. So that is going to sum things up for today's video on the 5 things that I hate about my Raptor. And I hope that you guys don't think that I really hate this truck, because I love this truck. I am excited for all of the stuff I'm going to be able to do, all the off-roading, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a super exciting truck for me to have. And overall, it was definitely worth it for me. But I just want to be completely transparent with all of you so that you guys can make the best purchase decision, especially if you're considering buying a Ford Raptor for yourself. But as always, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you think, and then I will see all of you in that next video.